You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
It's the podcast. Welcome back. We are going to talk like this for this episode. And if you don't hear how we're talking, then you probably talk like this. And it's okay if you talk like that.
It is.
We all talk differently.
We do. We all talk differently. I want to talk about cats.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let's do it.
I'm just going to do it real fast and let you know that not only are our coaches, musical. Our teachers, our mentors, not only have they have cats. They just got a brand new little baby kitty.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep seeing little kitty things everywhere.
Okay.
Suddenly it's like it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And so I'm just wondering, are you getting cats in your space?
Are you asking me or the person listening?
No, this is a direct question for Craig.
I am not.
See?
The only person that's bringing cats into my space is you.
No, it's me and Asher.
Just you.
Oh,
he's not really
coming
talking
to me.
Yep, he's not talking to me about cats.
I think he's like inception to my brain.
Do we want... I know you're having fun with this conversation.
I am having fun, but also it keeps like everywhere. It's like showing up in my spaces.
Yeah, because you're choosing to look at it.
And so I'm pretty sure that the universe is telling... I just think it might be time. And it's funny because I didn't want another cat.
You know, we had a plan to talk about something on this podcast.
We're still going to talk about it.
I don't know if we're going to, because this might take the entire episode.
I just wanted to like throw it out there to see if it was in your space. Or like, can I see your phone real fast?
This is something that actually, like, I don't know.
I just want to say cats a couple of times and see if your Google will pick it up. And then you'll start getting...
I don't know if...
I want to rescue a kitty. It's also... I don't want to start changing litter boxes again, so...
I'm trying to decide if I want to have this conversation on the podcast or not.
Oh. I was just bringing in a little lighthearted stuff. I wasn't really opening up a can of worms.
But there is a can of worms here.
I don't want to open up that can of worms.
I know, that's the whole thing.
I want you to look at like the fun stuff and not the can of worms. That's the opposite of my intent. I'm like, hey, fun, kitty.
But it's not fun for me.
Well, I was trying to make it fun.
But it's not fun for me.
Did you see the bubbly energy that I brought?
I did, but it's not fun for me.
This is me. Well, okay. Moving on.
I don't know if I want to. I kind of want to talk about it, but I don't know if you want to get into it or not.
No, I don't want to get into where I then realize why it's not a good idea. I just want to sit in the funness of it right now.
But you know it's not a good idea. And yet somehow...
It's because my heart still is like...
what it feels like to me is that I get all the blame for not allowing this thing to happen in our family.
Oh, are we going to go into shadow just from this?
There's a lot here.
Wow, okay. Asher doesn't know that I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, no, dude, we can't do that right now.
Okay.
So it's definitely not like I'm saying yes, but Craig's saying no. It's not that.
I know, but then you come to me with it.
I do come to you.
And then I'm the bad guy for saying no.
Okay.
Like, you've been joking with it and having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I have not been.
Well,
it has not been fun for me 1 minute.
Okay. Well, if we're going to get serious about it then, this is a theme, right? I've wanted to get a puppy for a while, and now it's to the point where Angel is just like, I realize that's not good. I didn't think I would like, we had our Harley for 16 years.
We had another cat. They don't know what you literally just said we had our Harley.
He was our Harley. He was our
we didn't have a motorcycle.
He was our Harley.
We had another cat. Yeah.
I loved that cat. And also that cat drove me crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it became like he had his journey with us, and it was from, beginning to end. He lived his life fully, and I didn't think I wanted another one, because that was, not only was it like really, really, really difficult the last year with them, the last 2 years with them. But it was just like so, like the heartache, the amount of, like, it is not to take care of an elderly animal, like it is a lot of work. And I can't imagine like not doing it, just being like, oh, they're a pain. And so then being done, like, you know, everybody is on their journey. Like that's not us. We are in it.
Yeah.
We are in it. We are in it from like start to finish. Like
yes.
they are like, that's how we do it. And I love that. And I got burned out hard. And I thought I was like, never again. And then it shifted. And I do want one, but I'm okay with not. And my like oomph is like, I really want to do it for Asher. I really want to get him one. And he says he'll take it with him when he moves out, and maybe not. I don't know. That's my like, I'm feeling for him, and that it's a thing. So am I going to be okay? Probably. You know, I don't know. I've had pets all my life. I don't know how to not have that type of family member.
We still have one.
This. I know. And I think
that's what I feel.
Angel's not going to be upset about a kitty. She's going to have a kitty friend. That's just my thought. Also, like, yes, I am having fun with it because it's a want, but it's not a need. So I'm not coming to you like, we need to have a conversation about getting a cat. This is something that is really important to me. That's why I'm having fun with it. So no, you're not the bad guy. Are you the one that says no? Like, yeah, you are, but also I don't know that I'm not just like, I'm not bringing it to you in a serious level.
If I said yes, you would go get a cat.
Probably.
So then, do you know, like,
but I'm not upset that you're saying no.
But it feels like there is resentment, even though you might not outwardly say. So first and foremost,
I'm not mad at you. Okay.
This is a really,
how this was going to turn into a fight. I'm really
we're not
surprised
fighting.
here.
We're not fighting. I'm expressing a lot of stuff that I have had around this one topic over the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
Let me express this, please.
Okay.
The reason I say no to all of this stuff, it's not, I don't like cats. I'm not a cat person. I accept the fact that you are, and that's fine. And one day we'll probably have another cat again. And I'm not
also a dog person. I'm a love person.
I'm not like in opposition to that.
Okay.
I'm in opposition to anything anymore because of where we're at in our life right now.
Because we're looking at shifting everything. We've got so much going on.
It's not just the transitions that we're in and that we're under. We are now assisting a dog into death.
Oh, I know, don't say that. Maybe that's a part of my like reason to
I think that's very much a part of why you are doing that.
I'm going to start crying. Oh my goodness.
I feel like I'm the one that is standing there holding the space for this dog that we love.
Okay.
And it's like, hey, everybody, I am prioritizing this animal over all of our wants and our needs and all, like, we are embarking on a journey of deep emotional pain and suffering that we're going to have to go into.
I'm going to feel a little defensive about that.
Do you see where my defensiveness comes from?
Well, like the fact that you're like, I'm the one holding space. I'm like, excuse me. Do you see what I'm doing?
So
I am constantly with
once
this
again,
stuff.
I'm not
I'm
attacking
constantly.
you. So we have to pause and get our rules of engagement out.
Because that
this
was
isn't
like,
me
what are
attacking
you?
This isn't me attacking you.
Okay.
This is me expressing how I feel. This doesn't become, well, I do all of this and you don't do this, and that's not what I'm talking about.
Because I feel like I do all the work, and so I'm like, if I'm the one that's doing all the work, I should be the one that's able to make these decisions because it's me doing it. What I was just getting ready to say, Craig, was I see that this is causing you stress. So until this is a real conversation, I'm going to take it off the table. If this is a real conversation, then I will bring it back to you. But I'm not going to try and like I didn't realize it was causing you so much stress. So because it's not a real conversation, I'm not going to put it out there and cause you stress.
It's not easy when the pets die.
No, it's not. And I feel like I handle all of it. the day to day, the the night through the night. I'm the one that's like literally getting up and doing all the things. And I feel like when it's a crisis mode, which with old animals, we get frequent crisis modes, that's when you step up. So it's hard for me to hear like, you're the one holding space. I'm having a hard time seeing. Okay. I'm having a hard time seeing what you do more than in crisis mode with the animals. And I don't have a problem with that. Like, I'm okay with the roles. The only time it's like a problem where I'm like, excuse me, where I see like lines that my problem, right, is where I'm like, oh, I do all this and this is what you do. The only time those lines like become a problem is when you express it in a way that is, you are doing all of this. And I'm like, hold up. So I don't mind, but there's probably, if I think that's how I'm seeing it, then that's how you're seeing it. So I'm definitely not seeing. Because I'm so sleep deprived and tangled and handling all of these emotions from not just animals, but from kids. And like, I feel like I'm just like swooped in all of this, trying to do it all. And I'm not seeing other, like, crisis mode. I love having you as a partner. I love having that support, because you come in like crisis mode, you come in and you are like, not only can you handle the situation, you somehow like make that situation safe. And so like it keeps going and you're able to hold the hearts of everybody. Like, I could not ask for more in crisis modes, but that's all I can see. So because I'm recognizing that, help me. I want to see that differently, because clearly there's more, or else you wouldn't say you feel like you're the one that's holding all the space. So
there's an aspect of the way that this dynamic plays out in our life, right? Where I feel like just so that people have context that don't understand the extent of what we're talking about. Our dog that we have, Angel, she is, she's just old as fuck. She's on like the last life that she has. And she's had a couple of, we've gone through over the past couple of years, copious amounts of traumatic events with her where it looked like she was going to die, and she's still here. She's hung on. And so she's like,
we had one like last week.
She's not just arthritic. Like she's definitely got some cancer in her body. She's got what we jokingly laugh about at times as just Alzheimer's in some way, shape, or form, of like a dog Alzheimer's. She's just old, and she's going to pass away at some point.
We have puppy pads because she just walks and poops sometimes.
Yeah, she has, doesn't have full control of her body anymore. All sorts of different things.
We're constantly cleaning and
caring. So it's a full-time experience
full-time.
of taking care of this dog. That alone is, I feel like I have a huge list of things that I have prioritized in regards to that dog.
Yeah.
That somehow I have to defend.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, let's get a new dog. And
I haven't
just
said
let
that
me
for
finish
a long time.
expressing these
it's
things.
Just like, that's not something you have anymore.
Can I finish expressing these things?
I glared.
This is really hard for me, Stephanie.
Me too. I'm listening.
And I'm not attacking you.
Yeah, you're also okay. Your version. Gotcha. I can do this. I am very defensive right now, and I'm trying to not be, but I'm super defensive. So let me try again.
I feel like I make choices for her, and I make choices for the rest of the house based off of what's best for her. Now, it's my opinion of what's best for her, but I take into consideration what I see as the realistic practicality of what it would really look like for her. She's my priority at times over how you feel, how our son feels, or what either of you want. You guys, I mean, just the smallest example is the desire to feed her things that she can't handle. And she hasn't been able to handle those for a really long time. And I feel like I've had to hold the line on that. And then I get the negative blowback because, come on, it's just a treat. And I'm like, do you want Angel to be around longer? Or do you know what I mean? Like all of those type of things, I feel like I'm the one that holds her best interest in mind. And the cat is, or a cat is just another example of that, where it would take away time, energy, and focus from the dog that deserves all of our time, all of our energy, and all of our focus. So that's a big aspect of it. And another part of it is like, I'm not bad for doing that. It's not me saying, don't get a cat. You're an adult woman. If you want to go get a cat, I'm not going to divorce you and leave and be done with you because you went and got a cat. I just don't think it's a good idea based off of this dog that we are ushering into the next part of her journey. And who knows when that's going to be. Obviously, we thought it was going to be 2 years ago, and she's still here. She's not going anywhere, but she will at some point. And then we have to go through the entire process of like everything that happens when that happens. I don't want to negate any of that. I don't want to sidestep any of that. I want to go through that process because it's going to suck and it's going to be hard. And then when that process is through and we've grieved and we've gone through it, and it's going to be a long process and we're always going to be grieving her in some way. But at some point, then yeah, let's figure out what pet we're getting next. Because I like having animals as well. But there are like an endless list of things why that is not a good idea right now. And it feels like I have to be the adult that says, that's not a good idea right now. And then I get subconscious resentment and pushback, and it's held against me. When all I'm doing is trying to make decisions for like the highest and greatest good for this dog and for us. Because yeah, there are those other factors, like we're in the middle of transitioning, and it's like, how nice is it going to be to just take a breath and not have that responsibility for a minute, especially when we have all sorts of other things happening that we need to address. So that's how I feel. And it's not something that it doesn't feel fun to joke about. It doesn't feel fun to tease about. It makes me feel like shit. It doesn't make me feel good at all. It's something that is really hard for me. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Well, I hear you. And I guess this is my way of keeping you in the loop too, and not springing things on you. There were a lot of things that came up that I don't feel are in line with the current situation. And I have a lot of like feelings. So I'm just like realizing you and I are just in different spaces about that. And that's just.
What do you mean you had a lot of things come up over the course of me talking?
Yeah. And so it's just like seeing like very strong differences just like really like showing how different experiences we are having
Mm-hmm.
and different perspectives. And like my first reaction is like, that's not true at all, right? And then I'm like, that is like, that's your experience. And then so your experience for me would be like, that's not true at all, but it's my experience. So just like, okay, these are our perspectives and these are our experiences. And you know, if I look a little deeper, the truth of it is I struggle with having wants and being allowed to have wants. So I definitely bring it in a lighter way. That way I'm safe to have a want, because I'm not. And you know, it's not. Oh my goodness, dynamics play out. So I hate getting to the point where I come to you with something and it's like this, like I have all of this intensity because I feel like that's like, I have to get to a point of, it's almost like I have to get to a point in opposition to be able to have a want or a need. And I don't want to bring it to you like that. But like, I'm trying to like, okay, there's a middle ground here, because I'm like, okay, I will not bring it to you. I will not bring these things to you. I will not express or communicate these things to you. I won't tell you what I'm feeling. I won't express what Asher is communicating. I will just leave you out of it and only come to you when it is like, this is now on the table and this is like, this is what's happening. Like, that's not what you're saying. So that's my reaction, right? And so I'm like, okay, so what is, and that's where I have to like, that's my work on that, is I have to figure out what is a healthy dynamic here. What is a healthy way to go about this? What is like, it is okay for wants. It is okay. And like, you're a grown ass woman. You can go get a cat if you want to. Also, like, the truth of that is how very much the energy would fill in this house if I just showed up with a cat. So there's more to that. Like, yeah, I know I'm able to do that. That's not going to be a fun situation for anybody. And I'm not stepping into that space at this point, because that is not worth, the chaos is not worth it. So could I do that? Yeah. Would you divorce me? No. Would life really be hard for a while? Probably yeah. So that's not something I'm willing to do. And that's not really something that's on the table. But, I'm hearing your perspective. And I'm recognizing how dismissed and, all the things that I'm feeling are like, I'm just going to have to like work on and look at, because they probably don't have a lot to do with you. Because I'm very reactive to this. I'm not, so I just need to sit with it for a little bit. And figure out what's the truth here, because my reactions isn't what I'm actually feeling, but my reactions speak louder than the truth of it a lot. So I don't really know what I'm feeling to have this conversation at this point. I don't know what the truth is. So I want to have it right now so we can wrap it up and come to completion, because it's sprawled out on the podcast, but I don't have awareness at this moment. I have to sit with it. Like, I guess my step on this moment is like, I can hear how, like, I'm taking it off the table for now, and I'm not telling you anything. I can't share things with you or an opposition. And just as I hear that it's upsetting to you and it's causing you massive amounts of stress, and that is not something that, like, I hear that and I don't want to do that. I don't know how to, like, I don't know what it looks like beyond that right now, but right now I'm like, okay, that's something that I'm not going to like have in front of your face anymore. I see the stress that it's causing you. I did not see the stress that it was causing you. So that can like for now, get off the table. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am being like, yeah. So I won't bring it up anymore. Especially like, I just won't bring it up for now until I can figure it out. And I don't know that, you know, I don't know. I have to sit with it quietly. So I don't know right now.
Thank you for being willing to just not bring it up for the time being. This obviously has a lot to do with other things than just cats and dogs.
Right?
I'm really overwhelmed right now.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's another aspect of it too, babe, where I think you and I are trying to figure out ways to take things off of our plate, not put things on our plate.
Yeah.
And it's not like somehow pets are, especially cats, are some huge responsibility, meaning time and energy and all of that kind of stuff. But they are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a new animal. It's a new thing. It's a new responsibility. And it's not like I'm trying to be like, I don't want any more responsibilities. I just want fewer things on our plate right now, not more things on our plate. It feels like we're finally getting to a point with all the work that we've been doing where things are going to start getting not necessarily easier by any fucking means, but like manageable.
Right.
And it's like, can we just breathe for a minute and not try to put something else on the plate where we just had a spot clear up? Like, that's another aspect of it too, where I'm really overwhelmed. And I'm like finally getting to a point where when we transition through all of this stuff that we're in the middle of and we kind of come through the other side of it, I want to breathe for a minute. I want to be able to fill the space that we clear out. And like I said, I mean, there's a practical part of this that a cat isn't some sort of massive obligation and responsibility, especially for me, right? Obviously, I'm not the one that's going to be caring for it and doing things. But it still brings with it responsibility and obligation, even if it's shared obligation and responsibility. And we're trying to do less of that right now. Like, it's not like saying we're trying to be less responsible, but it's like we're clearing out space. Like literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
We're cleaning up and clearing out our space. Can we just let it be clear for a minute?
That's not unreasonable.
Before we put something else back into it?
I have a different relationship with animals. And I can hear you completely and be like, that's it's totally reasonable, right? Yeah, of course. I think I just say that I'm like, oh, I don't want to agree to that because like I immediately got sad. I will definitely, I see your point and I agree with you. I just have to get I have to get my emotions on board. You know, does that make sense? Like, you're right. I know you're right. A breather would be nice, but also like my emotions are like, we'll see what that means. Like I said, this is like an unpacking thing. This is like, is this because my heart is so big and I love animals and they're like their family and they're like, I have commitment issues, but not to animals. You know, they're like, I'm a, you know, you are with me until the end. You know, it's such a, or am I, is this about a childhood wound? Like if I'm looking at this, I have this thought that's coming up that animals are the only thing that I could count on when I was younger. That was where love really was. And like animals didn't hurt me. They loved and they were always there. Like animals didn't abandon, you know, they died and that sucked. And so the thought of like not having this, actually, I'm about to cry. So there's probably some here, is the, basically what I know is love. I don't want to look at that. So I'm like, come on, like, so I will look at that and here you go. And like I said, I'm not going to be bringing it to you. And not a, well, I'm just not talking to you way. I don't mean it like that. That's a reaction that I have had. And it's definitely one that went through my head, but I'm choosing differently. I'm like, I'm not, you've expressed this causes you stress and pain. I'm not consciously going to be throwing something that causes you stress and pain in your face. I'm not doing that. So me not bringing it to you is, I'm not like, it's not bringing it to you. What's a better word? What's a better way to express this? I'm not waving it in your face. I'm not being, trying to get you to come to my way in a light way by like little Inception kitty videos or something. I'm not going to try to, allure you to my point of view is what I mean by not bringing it to you. Not that I'm not expressing myself with you. I didn't know that there was so much weight here. I didn't know that there was so much to unpack.
I think I felt it. I think like, I feel like this isn't a judgment of you or anything, right? I just feel that subconscious thing where it's like, we don't want to acknowledge what's happening. And I'm like, I don't want to not acknowledge what's happening. Yeah. I want to honor her.
I feel like I'm doing both.
And I think you are.
Maybe.
But at the same time, it's like, I'm afraid of the bypassing of it by shifting up the love and the energy and the focus and the intention into something else.
And I might be cushioning it.
Right at the end.
Right.
And it's like, she deserves all of it. Right up until the end. And then even after.
I agree with you. And I have a different perspective.
Yeah, and I agree with
and you see mine.
I do.
Yeah. I think there's enough love, and then there's like,
yeah,
loving something doesn't take away love.
Agreed.
And time and love being taken away is definitely something that she would feel. Man, I'm sad.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not anything that I've
never not had an animal.
Yeah.
That is like a panic. My kids have never not had an animal. Like, I don't mean to say like I'm sorry. I'm just like, there is that, like, I'm associating them with love. And so I think Asher is. I mean, look what Stevie did. You know, she's got a little Dr. Doolittle place, you know, associate him with love and safety and like something you can rely on. And so I don't want to take that from him either. I'm seeing, but also, like, I don't know what to do. I need help here. I don't know how to do this healthy. I need to get some assistance in processing these emotions and what it actually is. I mean, I know what it is. I just don't know how to. Just having awareness of it. Like, okay, now I know what to look at. I don't really know what to do with this shit.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Feel it. Same old, right?
Yeah, I'm not pushing past the feeling. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to unpack this. I don't know how to feel this. I don't know how to look at this. I need help with this one. So this is one where I'm like, okay, this exposed, like, what do I do with this? Like what do I do with this now? I know how to do this in unhealthy ways. So now I get to these are tools that I need help connecting the dots.
Yeah.
On that is what I mean. So I'm not. Anyways.
I don't know what we should do other than I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah. I'm surprised at it. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised at the conversation. I'm not surprised that you could see it and feel it, because that's one of the benefits of a couple, right? You can see shit that the other person might not be able to see.
Yeah.
And so you're like, here's this thing. And I'm like, no, it's you. You're like, here's this thing. No, it's you.
I have plenty of stuff here too, though. Do you know what I mean?
You do.
I have huge wounds when it comes to animals.
Yeah.
Like really, really bad, painful ones. And I've recognized that over the course of the last few years with Angel. And I just feel like it's it's an opportunity to do things differently than we've done before. And there's a part, like, if you're not an animal person, this episode is so missed on you. You're not a cat or a dog, obviously if you're a cat or a dog, you're probably not listening to the podcast, but yeah, if you're not an animal person, then you're like, what the fuck? And I'm a dog person, and I'm really only a my dog kind of person. But I've been looking at her for quite some time now, and seeing the things that she has done for all of us in our family. And it's like the ability that she has to like the capacity that she has to hold and process energy for our family is pretty powerful. And she's providing us just so much opportunity to witness like the capacity with which unconditional love exists. Through all sorts of different experiences, both good and bad, happy and sad, and she's just unwavering. And then there's parts of her that are like, like the practical parts of what we deal with, and you take the brunt of the responsibility of caring for her, but we're all here. We're all experiencing it. And it's beautiful to kind of witness and watch in some regards. And it's just been a lot to carry. And it's been a lot to hold, right, as our family. And we're not done. And I kind of just don't want anything in the way of that right now. Where we've got plenty that we're dealing with.
I've had Angel since I was 26. I'm 42. I don't know how to do it without her. I just don't know how to. I hear your pain and your processing and what this. I'm not like I walk through this with you differently, and this is definitely, like you said, we're doing things differently than we're like. I don't know. I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to do this other than. And I don't, I don't know how to help Asher through it. I mean, we've gone through, we went through it with Harley, we went through it. But then he lays with her, he lays with her. And so I don't know how to do it when that's just gone. Like, maybe we're not supposed to do it without animals, They do, so, like, maybe we're not supposed to, but maybe we are. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear what this is like for you, so I'm going to walk through it with you.
I hear what it's like for you, too, and I'm not negating any of that.
Yeah, I know. I know that one. I'm not defensive. It's hard to get out of that. Ugh. I'm gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also seeing like pain and fear that I haven't like tapped into. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
This hurts.
Yeah, there's some stuff there, huh? Yeah, there is. There's nothing like just awkward silences and crying for a good podcast.
Oh, man.
You're not doing anything
How long
wrong.
Was that?
No, you didn't do anything wrong.
Just were we quiet for a while?
No.
I gotta get a tissue.
You're fine, baby.
It's okay. Like
it's
you
totally
said,
okay.
if you're not, that can be at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
If you're not an animal person, this probably isn't going to resonate with you.
Yeah.
But if you are an animal person, you're going to be bawling throughout the whole thing.
And she's just downstairs sleeping right now. She probably walked around and pooped on the floor. It's just this really interesting thing that I believe. And I find it really interesting. Not to say that anybody else would or will, but I mean, the capacity, because it's the same thing of Angel comes from the same thing that we come from. She's made up of the same stuff that we're made up of. She's no different than you or I. And
my goodness.
I mean, it's memes that are made of, like I saw the one the other day where the guy's sitting on the bench with his dog and it shows the thought bubbles and the dog is only thinking about sitting on the bench right then with him. And he's thinking about all these other things, right? But it's like the capacity for just unconditional love in like the purest form of unconditional love. They do a pretty good job of showing that.
Right.
And I mean, it's really powerful. And it's just been beautiful to sit with her and be with her and watch her and experience her during this phase of her life, because it's so much different than any other phase. Like, I've never had a dog. I've never gone through this phase of life with a dog.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's really interesting from like a in your head kind of perspective, but also just from that deeper perspective of like being with somebody during kind of the final stages of their life. Yeah, it just feels like there's so much that it holds, so much capacity for, like, I feel like she's just continually, like I've said, she's just giving so much to us. And this is a part of that she is giving to us, where it's like, here, watch all of this. Be with me during this. Watch this. Experience this. I will give you this as well. Because we're going to need that experience again in our life. Right? It's not like something that we're not going to encounter again. And she's teaching us how to do it in some ways. So we're probably just going to keep booming.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't know if we have anything else to say. Totally not the episode that we thought we were going to record.
I think we should still do that one. So we'll do that one next. I'm going to put a note here so we don't forget.
Yeah, there's always more if you're willing to look.
And thankfully, if you have a partner that's willing to mirror that in different ways, like back on you and bring reactions so you can work, so you can see things.
Yeah, it would have been real easy to just keep this surface of like...
I definitely couldn't see it. I was like, this is why it's a good idea. And this is why I'm right. That should have been my cue, but it wasn't. I was very much in that like, no, this is justified. This makes sense. And I had that energy is such a like a key, right? But I did not see that. And it was like, it was that thing we talked about right in front of your face where I'm like, no, I can see you. I can see. But I wasn't even like, I wasn't mad at you. I think the resentment that you were feeling about that came from when I wanted the puppy. And then I got to where I agreed with you that now Angel's too old. And all of that carried over. And I was like, that's not there. That's not there. This is different. Mm-hmm. Right? That's how I saw it. You're like, I feel resentment. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, this is like, it's like, ha ha ha, fun. I did not have that awareness.
No, we figured out how to get through it.
Yeah, we did.
Without fighting. Follow us for more life hacks.
All right.
I don't even care. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for listening, everybody. Do you have anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.